Well, good morning, friends. Welcome back to Sunday Afternoon Smokes. This is another cigar review. My name's Chris. I am the creator and host of the Sunday Afternoon Smokes podcast, which you can find on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio. Also doing some cigar reviews here and there. I'm also the owner and operator of the Cigar Box. Bam. The Cigar Box is a mobile cigar bar that serves the upstate of South Carolina and beyond. You can follow me on Instagram at Mobile Cigar Box or at Sunday Afternoon Smokes. And I have both of those combined on X under at Mobile Cigar Box. So check it out. Check out the website, mobileCigarBox.com. See what I do. And if you're interested in having me out wherever you may be, you can click on the booking inquiry form there, and I will be in touch with you as soon as humanly possible. So check those out. Thanks for watching today. If you like the content I provide, smash that like button, the follow button, all the stuff. Share this with your friends and family. And, of course, there will be an audio-only version of this cigar review put up on listening platforms here pretty soon, or maybe I'll see if I can just get this on Spotify with the audio with the video as well. But hey, here we are this morning outside in my backyard. It's a little bit cool. Some weather has kind of come back, a little bit of the cooler weather. It's about 41, feels like 38, with a little bit of the wind chill. But I've got a hot cup of coffee. I'm fixing to light up a cigar. What we're doing today is Aladino. Julio y Iora, Aladino Cigars, and they're part of JRE. So you can get on over to their website, jretobacco.com, and you can look at their brands, and or they are JRE. But Aladino, this is the Robusto 5x50, a Corojo tobacco, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. But JRE Tobacco and the Aladino, they have three lines. They have Aladino, they have Rancho Luna, and they also have one Tadascan. I don't know if I'm even saying that right, but that's what they've got. But the Aladino right here is what they are putting forth as a true, quote, cigar, classic, old-fashioned cigar. And Aladino on their website, right, under their brands, this is just what they write. This Aladino embodies every word on that phrase. The cigar is a puro of authentic Corojo-grown tobacco in the JRE tobacco farm in Honduras from the original Cuban seed of Corojo. Its flavor characteristics are unique to its kind that bring you back to the golden era of cigars in Cuba from 47 to 61, with its traditional sizes and available in a 60 by 6.5 Gordo for the more contemporary smoker. So, we're going to talk about Corojo tobacco in just a little bit, but I'm gonna cut this. I'm gonna get it lit up. But as I always do, I usually do this even when I'm not doing a cigar review, just because I enjoy cigars and I enjoy everything about them. So I want to get the most out of it that I can. So I do like to nose the body, and the body, or the barrel, right? The barrel on your cigar would be most of it, right? Where it begins to taper here at the beginning of your cigar, that would be called the shoulder. And then right here, of course, this is the head, and this is the foot. And that looks good, doesn't it? This is like a medium brown wrapper on this cigar. It's a Panatella, which is just straight. It's not right. There's no shape to it. It's not a figurado, right? It's not a torpedo head. It's not a pyramid. It's not a perfecto. It's not a Solomon. It's not any of that. This is just a straight cylindrical cigar, the Aladino Corojo 5x50 Robusto, but beautiful color, beautiful brown color. And whether it's a cigar or I'm pouring up a glass of bourbon or whiskey or rye or scotch or whatever, I'm a big noser, man. I like to just get my beak right in there and inhale deeply and just see let me just awaken the senses. What can I pick up? How does this smell? Prepare my mouth, my palate for what I'm about to taste. And I do that with the same with cigars. I mean, and this is very light on the nose, at least on the barrel. And I was sniffing this in the house just a few minutes before I came out here. It's very light. But I do like to smell the open foot, right? Because when you're smelling the body or the barrel of your cigar, I mean, you're just going to be able to pick up a little bit, whatever happens to be on that wrapper. But once you get to the foot, you've got that cross section cut for you. Now you've got all of that filler and that leaf of the binder too. So there's more to pick up there. And I do get some nice tobacco sweetness on the foot. I mean, that's enjoyable. That's very good. So let me go ahead and cut this thing. I'm just going to hit it with a guillotine cutter. Take off, just really shave the cap. There you have it. Just a little bit, I didn't even get all the way, I just really want to just knock the cap off right there, open up an airway, and let's test the draw. Draw is good. Let's toast it up and let's see what this Aladino Corojo Robusto is all about. This is, as I said, it's a 5x50, and this is a Puro. This is all Honduran tobacco grown, I believe, at their farm, the JRE Tobacco Farm in the Jamastran Valley there in Honduras, if I'm not mistaken. So let's see here. Be patient with me. We're gonna jump into some of the actual smoking of that. And that was really good at the very beginning. And then just a few seconds after I let it all out, there was a big flavor bomb just kind of midway to the farthest back of my palate, like halfway on my tongue to the back of the throat. There was just a big boom. And it's rich. It's toasty. It's leathery. I like that. Rich, toasty, leathery. A little bit of pepper. Not a ton. But so yeah, this Aladino right here by Julio Aurora, very good. If you go on their website, jretobacco.com, check out their lines and get to Aladino. I mean, they have several versions of this cigar. They have their Aladino vintage selection. They have a Cameroon, which I really enjoy, Cameroon tobacco. They have the Corojo that I have here. They have, let me see what else it is. Corojo Reserva. They have a Connecticut, the Habano vintage selection. They have a Maduro, and they have a classic. So they're offering, within the Aladino line, they've got, I guess, 7 variants on that, if you will. And man, this cigar is loaded up with awards. This aligned the Aladino Robusto in 2017. It was the cigar of the year, rated 97 at the Cigar Authority. And of course, Cigar Authority it's just the monstrous, it's the premier cigar podcast, right? That they put out a lot of great information. Number 18 on the 2019 top 25 cigars by Cigar Aficionado. Aladino Toro rated 93. I mean, there's just a load of great rankings for this cigar on their website. So so far smoking great, but this is Corojo tobacco. I'm really enjoying that. I've got, of course, my cup of coffee because coffee and cigars is a beautiful combination, just like any, the things we typically pair cigars with, whether that's beers, wines, spirits, liquor, rum, whatever liquors you like. Coffee and cigars are also excellent. And of course, it's only 10 o'clock in the morning, so I'm not interested in bourbon right now. But Corojo tobacco is kind of like, it's like the OG of tobaccos when it comes to like the cigar industry. This goes back to some of Cuba's heyday, early the 50s, the 60s. But Corojo gets us back to like the 1930s, right? In Cuba, and it was a huge crop, producing some great tobacco, producing some great flavors and leaves. It was primarily grown in the Vuelta Abajo region of Cuba. I believe, from what I understand, at the current moment in time, Corojo is exclusively grown in the Jamastran Valley there in Honduras. But, well, not exclusively. It's also being grown, if I'm from what I've been reading some. It's also grown in Western Kentucky in the United States. I'm not really sure what that's used for, um, but that's where you're going to find it. It's not grown just kind of all over the place. But the original Corojo is kind of gone. Um, you know, Tobacco is like any other crop, right? It doesn't matter whether it's wheat, whether it's corn, whether it's lentils, whether it's asparagus, whatever. It is a crop, right? And a lot of these, what we should understand about the cigar industry is that there are cigar makers in every brand. Every cigar you have in your hand, every band on a cigar comes from a manufacturer, comes from or a blender, comes from, you know, take take Crowned Heads, or take Pete Johnson, or take Matt Booth, or take like any number of these guys that we know about in the industry, that are doing, and I like their cigars, right? I really do. And they probably, and I'm sure they know a ton about tobacco. I'm sure they know a lot more about tobacco than I know about tobacco. But there are guys with lines who make relationships with tobacco farmers. And so there's a difference between being a cigar maker. That'd be like me saying, I want, I would love to launch my own line. This is hypothetically. I would love to launch my own line of cigars for my company, the Cigar Box, and carry them around with me, and blah blah blah. Well, because I'm not a I don't grow tobacco, right? I haven't, I don't have the experience. I don't have the knowledge. I mean, I'm good at smoking cigars. That's the easy part. But bringing a cigar to life from seed all the way to a finished product, that's a whole different ballgame, right? So you have families like the Oliva family, Rocky Patel, they have their own farms. Um, uh, Perdomo, um, even here, the Eora family, they're Eora, obviously my friend Charles at Carolina Cigar Company, they do the whole thing, right? So there's a big difference just between having a cigar and a band with your name on it versus being a farmer, right? These guys know how to farm. They know how to plant, when to plant, where to plant, how to irrigate, signs to look for, all of those things. But then you have to understand that tobacco is a crop just like anything else, and crops are, they have their weaknesses. They are susceptible to pests and diseases. And of course, like every other crop, there's things outside of our control, like, hurricanes or droughts or all of that. So getting back to Corojo tobacco, Corojo, while it was a great crop, it struggled with disease. And the three big diseases that tobacco farmers really, as far as I understand in my research and studying, I have to worry about is blue mold, which grows underneath on the bottom side of the leaves, very like spreads like crazy, very destructive. There's blue mold. There's mosaic virus, which kind of, it models the leaf on the top and discoloration. You see the splotches and the patches, and it's not, obviously not good for the plant. That's mosaic virus. This is medium cigar, medium body, little spice. It's excellent flavor, really great in the morning. It's a good morning smoke with tobacco. It's got a little zip in it, but it's not just going to knock you off your feet, first thing in the morning if you're a morning cigar smoker. Of course, that doesn't matter to me. I'd be happily at 10 o'clock in the morning smoking a Maduro. That's just me. Not everybody's that way, but the draw is very good. So far, we've got some really nice burn. It's just even all the way down. Excellent construction. That's something you'll notice and talk about probably on every cigar. But anyway, blue mold, mosaic virus, and then black shank. So the black shank starts obviously at the stalk down at the bottom where the stalk is coming up out of the ground. It will get disease. It'll kill the entire plant. Of course, all of that, doesn't matter what it is. It's not good for the plant. I'm sure they're destructive to the whole plant. But those three. So Corojo was very susceptible to disease, and so over time, as the farmers and scientists, whatever, they were working at trying to get a variant that was more disease resistant. A variant of Corojo that was more disease resistant. Enter Corojo 99. And so if you're smoking a cigar with Corojo tobacco in it, the overwhelming odds are that you're smoking Corojo 99. And much of what you can find online about Corojo is that the original Corojo that was being produced, in the 30s in Cuba doesn't even exist anymore. And that it's all Corojo 99. However, the Iora family, this is their claim and what they're saying. I have no, I don't know one way or the other, but this is just some of what I read, and they'll even say it, on their website that they are growing Corojo from like original Cuban Corojo seed, which leads me to believe it's not Corojo 99. But so this is a true Puro harvested entirely from the Iora tobacco farm located in the Jamastran Valley of Honduras. Aladino, like I said, it's a true Puro, not unlike what you would find with a vintage Cuban cigar. The Corojo tobacco that makes up the blend is said to be an undiluted seed from Cuba's heyday, which would be, like the late 40s through the early 60s. That was like the big time of, maybe not the big time, but it was the golden era of cigar production in Cuba. And so that undiluted Cuban Corojo seed is what gives Aladino this unique, nostalgic smoking profile that they believe stands out in the current cigar market. And I think it probably adds up. There's been, looking at the amount of awards that the Aladino line has been lauded and given so many awards for. I think, smokers would probably agree, and those that do the ratings, that the enthusiasts have hailed the cigars as an old school smoking experience. Now, I'm not the guy that can speak to that. I'm definitely not an old school smoker, right? My cigar time really started in 2018. So we're about 7 years in the cigar world. And of course, I'm enjoying the ride. I enjoy everything about it. But this Aladino Corojo Robusto that I'm smoking this morning, um, I don't have to run down, wrapper, binder, filler, because I've already said it's a puro. So everything in this cigar is coming from the Eora family farm there in the Jamastran Valley of Honduras. It's 100% Honduran cigar. This, just reading some stuff off the website, the Casa Monte Cristo website. This says the smoke delivers a rich, full-bodied tapestry of spice, oak, earth, leather, pepper, and tobacco sweetness. And I mentioned just on, pardon me, on the foot when I nosed it, you can definitely pick up on the sweetness of the tobacco. The leather is there, a little bit of spice. Yeah. I mean, it's great. Spice, oak, earth, leather, pepper, tobacco, sweetness. I think that's a pretty apt description of this cigar. It smokes easy. The draw is excellent. The flavor's good. Great with a medium roast cup of coffee. My coffee is a little bit darker than I think I would actually like to go with this cigar. I think my coffee is a little bit more bold. I'd like to dial it back just a little bit, but I can't because that's what I have in the house. But I mean, I think if I was going to drink some beer with this cigar, by the way, I'm not a big beer drinker. I mostly stick with bourbons and whiskeys and rum from time to time, rye. But if I was going to drink something like this, a red ale, I think would be pretty good with it, like Killian's Irish Red. I think that would probably be really good with this cigar. But that's just me. To each his own. You do you do what you enjoy. Yeah, kudos. I mean, I don't really know what else to say. It's just an excellent cigar, beautifully constructed, smokes like a champ, draw is excellent, flavors are there. It's all marrying together nicely. It's a great, easy, morning, or I mean, it's a great smoke any time of the day. But I can see this, which is what I'm doing, just kind of breaking in my day. It's getting knocking on 10:30 here. Breaking in my day with this cigar, and that's excellent. And a very white ash. Now, there's some discussion out there about the various colors of ash and whether that matters. I need to do a little bit more reading on that. But you see that's what you call when you see those sections like that in the ash. That's the best view of it right there. That's what I've heard is called stacking dimes in the industry. So, now whether that's a good thing, I think it's a good thing, but I have to do more research on it. So, anyway, yeah, digging it. Aladino, get on over to jretobacco.com, and you can find out really all that you want to about Aladino cigars. Let me just look up their socials for you really quick. Maybe they have them down there on their website to begin with, and I should have looked there first. What do we got here? Nah. Aladino Cigars, there it is. Yeah, just go on Instagram, Aladino Cigars, and you can follow them and find out what's going on in the world of JRE Tobacco and Aladino. So there it is. Thanks for listening or watching. If you're watching the YouTube video of this, like I said, hit the like button, follow me, share it with friends, share it with family, share it on your socials, share it with the world, because I love Sunday afternoon smokes. It's just, I love what I do. But we'll talk to you really, really soon. Have a great day.